Hey, 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 welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for y'all. That's my thing is a little crazy, don't mind it. Okay, that would have driven me crazy because I have OCD and that little spot being able to see it. All right. Now, if you're new to the Psychic Soul Healer channel, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for you all. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed. You may have to flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Don't mind me. I just came from the gym. And now my dog is going crazy. Okay, the energy is almost like chaotic, I feel like. Probably because I'm feeling chaotic today. 4th of July weekend. It's almost like holiday time. Okay, start out. Perseverance. Now, this energy is going to be more or less about who you are. You know what? I'm going to have to. All right. I was going to put you on hold for a second until the dog stopped barking. Now, the first card out. By the way, if you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know about the channel, you can find in the description box below. Now, if you resonate with this video, give me a like, comment the word. Well, what should be the word today? You know what? We'll use the word perseverance. So if you write the word perseverance in your comment bar and you like the video and subscribe to the channel, that automatically gets you into winning a free psychic reading with me. All readings are done live, just so that you guys know. All right. Now, I always look at the spiritual energies. Yeah, this is it. People know that this is a Psychic Soul Healer channel, which means I look at your wounds. I look at the karmic themes. Why? Because situations that have to do with your soulmate or like just life, they tend to repeat in our lives when we have a wound, when we have a spiritual block. So if we haven't healed it and integrated the spiritual lesson, it means again that we hold that wound still within ourselves. So healing is all about seeing the situation through a different perception and then doing something to solidify that new intention so that we ground it into the physical world. So when we have a soul connection with someone, a lot of times we get triggered by them. Why? Because everyone has their wounds. Spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, brings people to people, right? In order for us to heal. And we heal by getting to see a different perception. And sometimes our perception, especially when you're dealing with a soulmate, twin flame, you think that you're almost looking at this person through rose-colored glasses when you first meet them. However, as time goes by and you are in a relationship with this person or trying to get into a relationship with this person is when you see the blocks. You see, again, discorded energy that comes up and is triggered within inside of you. And what holds behind a trigger is really the core belief, right? A core belief is why we have triggers, in the core belief of not feeling good enough. And especially if our soulmate twin flame is coming in and out of our life and acting like that we don't matter. Obviously, the situation is showing us something. And that something is, again, how that person is making us feel. Hey, Ishka, how you doing? I'm so glad that you're here. Share your energy with me. Happy 4th of July. It's good. It's going good. I just rode my bicycle outside and it's so hot. It's about 95 degrees outside. And then you come inside with the air conditioning and you're freezing. So it's, I said the energy is like really chaotic, but I really wanted to jump on and do a live stream. Now I'm going to be on again later today. And preferably I'll look a lot better than what I look right now. But I wanted to just jump on and try and be consistent. You know, when you're trying, especially you right now, because I'm getting something on you. It's when you're trying to do something new, like change, and that might be incorporate a new hobby or a new interest or a new way of thinking into your life. It's hard to just change. We have to almost condition ourselves, right? So I feel like you're in the midst of some changes right now, right? That's what I'm feeling. And so it never surprises me who shows up during the live stream always needs to hear the message. So I'll be curious how you resonate with this message today, only because, like I said, you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life, right? That's what I felt. I'm telling you, that's what I felt. And that's how this reading started off. It's like, again, this that's how it started off, just with me, because of how I came on. Because I said I feel like I'm all over the place. And I'm all over the place because I really wanted to get this live stream in, but I have 1,000 things to do. And then, so balance. It's all about finding balance during chaos. So that's going to be the name of this live stream. Okay, because I always have to set the title of the live stream before the actual live stream, which doesn't make any sense to me, because I want the title to actually match what we're talking about. So I just want to write that in here because I will forget it. So I want to thank you, Ishka, because I would have never even come up with that. It's like I feel like I got that from you, you know? And so that's what it's about, finding, and that's what we're going to talk about, that finding balance during chaos. Well, the first card that I had pulled, by the way, like if you're I can't talk today. If you want to enter into winning a free psychic reading with me, you'd have to subscribe to the channel, and obviously write the word in the comment bar. And the word of the comment bar that I pulled today was perseverance. And so how do you stay balanced? Well, you have to definitely persevere, right? And it's like, which means that you have to have the end result of what you want. Like, you have to hold on to it, like hold it in as a vision in your mind, right? So that's really how we would find it, because it means that you're going to see a lot of shit. There's going to be a lot of things that happen that are going to make you want to give up, that will make you think that you're not on the right track. Remember, the devil always comes when you're about to give birth, and that what that actually means is that the obstacles tend to always happen, or problems happen, or chaos happens at the worst times. A lot of times it's like, it almost seems like when you're a magnet to living in a certain, let's just say you're a magnet of who and what comes to your life. We know this. And that means at all different times, because our energy changes. So let's just say you're in this slump where there's a lot of chaos. And then right at that time, that's when your car breaks. That's when that extra bill comes. That's when, God forbid, someone dies. So that's when unforeseen events happen, which makes it very hard to stay balanced, right? So when we think about balance, we also have to think about the emotions, because we can tell when someone's not balanced. And people that don't express their emotions, they try to suppress their emotions because it looks crazy to walk around crying and cursing and being all emotional. So people suppress their emotions. So we would want to look at certain wounds, definitely, because again, chaos is going to bring out any type of wounds. That's why, again, I always say, oh, retrograde, it's the same thing. It's like when you go through an experience that it's like retrograde, where everything is going backwards. They say the planets are going backwards. So there's a lot of miscommunication. Well, that always tends to happen at the worst times. That's why they'll always be like, don't sign any contracts. during retrograde, don't do this, don't do that. Well, what I find is if you're a highly sensitive person and you have a lot of wounds, a lot of, again, the samskaras that I always talk about, the soul wounds that took created from our psychic trauma, our psychological trauma that we don't see. Well, retrograde is a nightmare for us because a lot of people that have gone through wounds are sensitive, and they became sensitive due to the fact that had it hard. And so they've tended to like really depend on their senses for survival. And so our electrical system, our nervous system can actually short out computers and other things. So that's why when it rains, it pours. Now I'm just going to do a stream first. And yes, you can actually write your question in the comment bar because I also like to see if it comes out during the channel. A lot of times it will. I wanted to see perseverance. It was a card that came out. So this is, again, the energy, the overall energy, and having compassion. And maybe that compassion is for yourself. I just wanted to look at the underline questions, but you can ask your question. Definitely ask it. Write it in the chat. Because I'm going to see how it ties in. Compassion and then victim. So I feel as if, again, there's a sense that now this could be for you. This could be, again, for multiple people because it's a collective read-on. So the energy that we're dealing with is that we're persevering because, yeah, you can ask about, but like you said, it's about your energy first, because understand you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So a lot of times, again, if we're interested in a person, we want to see why that is, again, and what the spiritual thing is, and if they're acting a certain way, why they're acting a certain way is the most important. Oh, so then this is not even a person, like isn't even in your life yet. And so again, it would be important still to look at your energy, So I will get to that, but I want to look at the energies first to do it my way first, which is I look at the person's energy, where you are. And again, in order for you to have a good relationship, a lot of times it's things are karmic. It's not that you can't start off and have communication. You might have to do something though. And so that's when things tend to be like the problem, right? Because especially if we really like someone and we're afraid that they're going to be, like the victim, right? They're around you from time to time, but they're not really doing anything. So it's like what I'm feeling, because I'm a psychic before I'm a card player, you would have to do something. You see this person's around you. It doesn't mean that they don't find you attractive. It doesn't mean that they don't vibe well with you. They're around you because they do from time to time. That's, again, it's a no-brainer. If I don't like someone, I'm not going to be around them. However, if you're not doing something, like could it be possible? Everything, understand, here at the Psychic Soul Healer channel, it's not about predictions. Why? Because, I will give you a prediction, but understand there's many different realities that could possibly play out. This is what quantum jumping is all about. Quantum jumping is, I'm living in a reality where I like someone, but they're not really giving me anything. And I want to know, are they going to talk to me? And it's like, chances are, darling, if they've been around you and they haven't said anything, it's not because they don't like you, but they're most likely not just going to say, hey, Ishika, let's come on out and hang out and do this. And that's what I'm saying. You would need to start a casual conversation. So we need to look at your wounds, because already that's a wound. Like, I have to do something. I'm nervous. So it's like, and so it's like to look at it now, if I had to say, like that was yours. I would say you don't want to be a victim. So it would be to start up a casual conversation. See whether or not you have anything in common with this person. And why do I say that? Because it's not so much about you getting the person to date you, because I believe that they would eventually date you. You could eventually say, yeah, let's grab a cup of coffee, and it could be casual, but you wouldn't like how the person treated you casual, right? So it's like, it's really important in the beginning of a relationship how you want it to play out. It's like, this is what I'm trying to say. Like that you want it's not that this person that it's not whether they're spiritual or not. What it is that if you're dealing with somebody that let's just say they have a lot of wounds, and you're attracted to them, and you have a lot of wounds, and now they're not doing anything, and then you're afraid to do something, so then you're going to try to do something, but believe me, how you're setting the relationship up straight to begin with would never really make you feel 100% like the person cared enough. So could you get this person to talk to you? Of course you can. It's like, but you'd have to strike up the conversation. Now, could it turn into more? Only if you had a common interest where that energy, like you were setting it up, where it was not just a casual conversation of, hi, yeah, the weather's nice, or whatever. It would have to be like, like with the intention of talking about like a common interest, about making that person feel comfortable, because I feel like you would be going into it not feeling comfortable, right? So if we don't feel comfortable, we're going to start off already being this energy. So, like, if I had to use this for you, it would be, and I'm not saying this was for you, but with the cards that I pulled out, I would say, well, you have to persevere. And persevering is, well, you have wounds too, right? So it's uncomfortable for you to maybe even ask or to like start a conversation, or where do I start? But that is what would need to happen. You would need to be the one that started the conversation, and you would actually have to have compassion for yourself, like not taking it like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. But it's also like compassion for that person because they don't really know how to talk. Um, I had to. So I'm thinking about asking about that. Yeah. So it's again, like, I think that you should, like, you should ask him about his ring that he's wearing. Like, hi, are you married? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand like what you're saying. And it's like, yeah, to talk about Vedic astrology. Yeah, if this is what the person is interested in, and you can see that, then that would be an appropriate common thing. And then it would be like, oh, I've heard about this one, have you ever heard of it, or this or that, and then to build up that conversation, because I feel like they would be, but I also, when I tap into the person's energy, I feel like they're a little reserved, I'm not going to lie. And I feel like you're not really, like, you can be reserved, it's like, but you're sensitive, you're nice. That's why I said that's why I was like, oh my God, you see me wearing a ring. So what, are you married? Like, that's why I was like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but okay. But because especially if you want to get to, I mean, it does, people do approach people that are married, but I didn't really get that off your energy. I feel like it was more like, again, to find the common interest, to strike up the conversation is what I'm feeling. Now let's see what this person, if Ishka does this, what will she do? Because that's what I felt like. It was like, you definitely have to talk about something. That's what Spirit's saying, is that he's a little reserved. And so, it's small movements, and it would be like, without the cards, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to take you a long time. It would take you a long time unless you were really straightforward and direct. And that could only not be taken the wrong way if you find that common interest to talk about. And again, you both feel each other's vibe. And it starts off as, again, friendship based on whatever. And then you turning around and saying, hey, you want to grab a cup of coffee? Hey, you want to be friends? Which I don't feel like you want to do, because that's like little, like, whatever, because you're reserved too. But I think you protect your feelings more. Now, if you were to do that, I want to know what would happen. Well, I feel like it's like, well, I feel like they would have feelings for you. I think that they could have feelings for you, because so I do. I do, but do I feel like they're 100% again honest with everything? No, not all the time, because it's like, if I have to go by that, it's like there would be that they're getting to know you. I don't feel like they've had a lot of great relationships as well. Now, let me pull from this deck just to see what would happen. So I need something a little bit more specific. All right, let's see. So again, it's your uniqueness that would, again, and that's a common interest that I definitely feel. And it's about getting this person to open up. And that's exactly what I felt. And then it's also because the person's very reserved, I also don't feel like they would make it really easy for you. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there's a sense of, again, this hangman is always like a feeling of like you have to surrender to like what is, but it's also a place where I feel like you would be like waiting a lot to see what this person's going to do. And that would be uncomfortable. However, could you get this person to date you? Could you get this person to have feelings for you? Yeah. It shows that. It's again, but it would have to be, because look, like even the card that's flipped over, victory, it's like Six of Swords. And that's really what I feel like. But it's all about making that, you know, when I say unconditional love, I feel like when you love something, it's a passion. You have passion for something, right? And you embody that energy. And then when you connect with someone that doesn't normally feel that comfortable within themselves, because they're reserved, right? Meaning they've been trained and conditioned to think a certain way and be a certain way, mainly because they're very business savvy. Well, you need to be more soft with them. It's again because this person does not feel comfortable to really express their emotions, but it would be the unique connection between the hobby and the interest and you, again, you being relaxed. That makes this person relaxed, if that makes sense. So, can you be with this person? Absolutely. However, is how we do things, which is how the karmic theme would play out. And so, one thing for you is you have to be honest with yourself. Can you deal with someone that emotionally really isn't capable of expressing as much to you? Can you? I know that you can, but what you would need to do too is you would need to get really more into your craft, into doing the things which you like to do, in order to balance out the situation. Because a lot of times when spirit brings people to us, what makes up a karmic relationship, when we think of karmic, past life karmic relationship, we don't like what that sounds like, because we think, oh, at first this is hot and connection. However, it goes so fast and there's no ground. And when there's two people that think differently, a lot differently, meaning somebody is very intuitive and spiritual and the other person is very logical and analytical, well, to find balance, that would be your issue, which happens to be your repeating karmic theme, which is I'm attracted to this type of person. However, they don't really express and I never really feel. And then I feel like I'm needy. which, because in a way that you kind of are, because you're expecting that person to give you what you should be giving yourself. So like I said, you have to find balance. So balance isn't just making that person feel comfortable because they can't open up and articulate because of, again, how they were conditioned and trained, and they're in the business world. That so we can understand why many years of education, many years of especially being around people that have money. It's, again, they were taught and schooled and, again, conditioned from the environment to be a certain way. And if you haven't been, and you're like, well, I need, or you have been, but that's not your focal point. Your focal point is more on, I need to have that emotional connection. We can see how the two frame of minds are very paradoxical and how they can be triggering. Because, but really, you say, well, then I shouldn't be with that person. Then spirit says, no, you should find your balance. If I brought this person to you, it's karmic, but karma means learn. So you could either repeat the karmic cycle, which is not really get enough from this person, feel like they are not really interested, feel like you don't really know, or lose yourself in yourself. And where this is intriguing to that type of mind, because the business type of mind likes somebody that's very, doesn't need to be entertained. Why? Because they've invested a lot in themselves. So they would hope to attract someone that also invests a lot in themselves. And that could be through your hobby or your interest or whatever it is, but it has to be enough that you are not emotionally seeking it from that person. And that's just because God brings us, God, the universe, whatever the fuck you want to call it, brings people to you that you need. And needing a lot of times is to show through a different perception. But that perception a lot of times will piss you off because it'll be like, okay, why am I still not getting what, this is the same shit that I've always gotten. That keeps me stuck in a limited thought pattern about what I can have. And spirit says, because that's not accurate. There's many different realities to a situation that can play out. If you go left instead of right, well, again, you'd meet different people. If you decide to go zigzag, again, that's a different reality. You can quantum jump. Here, this is your situation. That's the wound. That's what you keep reliving. That's the karmic theme. I don't want to live that. I don't want to live that. If I can have the opportunity, I want to make the best out of the opportunity, which means I'm going to quantum the fuck jump into the opportunity that's going to make me get the guy, get the girl, get the money, get the success, get the, again, whatever it is that I need to make my life better, to raise my vibrational. My vibration is to become unconditional love. So it's not seeking it through that person. And so can you have it? Yeah. But here at the Psychic Soul Healer channel, we don't say whether a person will get it or won't get it. We'll say this is how to get it, because we already know what can happen because we've already lived it just with somebody else. We want something different. That's what it is. So, and is that easy for you? No, I don't feel like it's easy because it's going to require healing on your part. You have to be able to ask again, and you have to overcome your insecurities. And it puts you in a whole other situation where you're like, I don't really feel comfortable. And spirit says, good. But understand, love is healing. So even that attraction, which you think is love and might just be lust, be like, well, I'm just attracted to that person. Doesn't matter. It gets us to do what we normally wouldn't do. It's like so you always just have to make sure that is not going to turn into a karmic dumpster fire where you're like, fuck, I lived this 13 years ago and now it's the same exact situation. This is why I didn't date to begin with for 13 years. And now here we are back again, because it doesn't matter how long. Time and space, just like with a past life soulmate, there's no time, there's no space. In anything in the spiritual realm, there is no time, there is only now. And so that's why all these different realities are actually can play out for you in a single time. So it's knowing exactly what you want, being conscious of it. And how your reading started off was perseverance. It's like the focus is on this, what I want. I don't want to be the victim. And so it actually was your reading, because it was like perseverance, but I don't want to be the victim to that. So I need to have compassion for myself, and I really need to like have compassion for this person, not look at it like they're not expressing or giving me what I need, but understand that means you better be getting what you need from somebody else. And that doesn't mean go out and have sexual affairs with 1,000 people. It means emotionally get what you need, because passion could be, again, not just a person, but what you're passionate about. And when we don't have that, we abandon ourselves. And then unconsciously, we're telling the person that we want to stick around to not really be there. Right. You want to just be really like invested in yourself and doing what you like. Then this way you never really are rerouting yourself, because when you're doing what you love, you're becoming the vibration of love. But understand, you're not moving you, spirit's moving you through your bliss, through what you love. And then you're attracting that love. So even if you're with somebody that's not treating you right, or this person, you're like, they don't express anything to me. I'm stuck. No, no, no. That's the limited thought of, no, you're stuck. You have to move you in order to unstuck them, in order for them to give more, because it's karmic. It depends on what you do. So you might be like, no, I did everything. Well, you did everything for them. What did you do to take your energy away and do for yourself? Because once you do that, you trigger that person's ego. Like, why isn't this person doing for me? Why isn't? So it's, again, knowing what you're dealing with is super important. Like, this person just emotionally doesn't give. This person is stingy, they don't give. Well, if you're dealing with that type of energy, then you want to definitely invest more in yourself, because when you invest more in yourself, the universe helps you train that person. And you say, how does the universe help train? Well, you're becoming the vibration of unconditional love. So you don't think you would be attracting other potential like people that would want to date you, or you would want to date, and that this person would see that? They would see it, because emotionally you'd be like, I don't give a fuck that you're not calling me or not doing what you need to be doing for me, because these other people are doing it and you'll eventually be replaced. So you have to trigger a person's ego. You have to make a person surrender their ego a lot of times, because it's like, no, I'm right. It's not about right, because that's not love, that's control. And unconditional love is the vibe that you need to buy back. And in order to for a person to feel like you're not manipulating them. Otherwise, then it's like, oh, you're just doing all that to make me feel better. It's like, no, I'm not. It's like, I'm doing it because I like it for myself or whatever. They don't. So you just do it for you. And that's how, especially when you're dealing with such a left brain analytical type of mind that it has had not good experiences within their relationships, because a person just can't deal with their relationship analytically. But that's what happens when we go through trauma. It's like, well, it just makes sense. And it's like, you're never going to get a good result that way, because the main reason why you're navigating and why your moves are the way that they are is out of fear. And we can't, attract the love and the unconditional love that we want if we ourselves are coming from a place of fear. So like I said, you would have to do what you need to do for yourself. And that's really how you reroute yourself. And that's how the person is seen, because they're like, well, this person doesn't need me. They have a life, and I actually like their life. I'm watching their life. They're having a good old fucking time without me. Why is that? Why are they having a good old time without me? It's like, and then, then their ego gets hurt, and then they begin to look for you, and then they're giving you. It's just that simple. But if you didn't like strike up the conversation with this person and say, oh, to start the conversation, it would never happen. So that's the trick. It's like, well, I started the conversation, then I felt the need to keep the conversation and everything going, so I kept doing. And then you wind up being the victim, which is why you pull victim, because it's like, well, I felt like I needed to do that because they don't really give, but though I know that they like me. No, 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 no. You have to make that person give. and they give through you giving less and becoming yourself. You have that common interest, and then it'll work out. So I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to pull a few other cards just because. Actually, yeah, I told my husband, I said we would leave in about an hour. So I'm like, I got time to do another one. It's like, in half an hour, you said you were going to be on later. Yeah, I did say I was going to be on later, but later might come and then something might happen. I had to throw myself on like this after the workout I had. I rode my bicycle in 95-degree weather, sweating my ass off. And then I'm in air conditioning, freezing my ass off now. So it's like, that's what it is. All right. Let's see the spiritual energy. Vanity. Yes, baby steps. Everything is baby steps. So you may be dealing with somebody, again, whoever this message is for. I'm going to just do a really quick message because last message kind of got Mr. Just for the Spiritual. Oh, he's hanging in there. Thanks. He wants to go out to eat now. he's been doing a lot better. So I just see the energy. Vanity, Promethean fire, passion, and stuck. Well, someone's finding somebody very attractive. They have a lot of passion for them, but they're stuck. They don't know how to move forward, is what I'm feeling. And that's the energy. I don't know who that is for, but I'm just going to make this really, really short because I want to see. I just want to see what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, he's rehabilitating, but it's just the doctors are not, once you get to a certain age and to have a certain health condition, they don't really do as hands-on as they really should. I mean, like they're almost like, you're doing okay. But thank you. I appreciate that. So vanity, Promethean fire, and stuck. So someone's very attracted to you, or you may be, again, whoever this is for, is attracted to somebody, but they are stuck. And I'm feeling like the person's stuck within their own life, not stuck even within the connection with you. They have their own, and stuck could just be their own core beliefs. There is so much I want to tell you, and that is really what I felt. I felt like they have a lot of like passion and they do care, but our story isn't over. Yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like the person has a lot of feelings, that they care, they're very interested, but now why? I want to ask why. What is the reason? Why is this person stuck? I need to use a different deck. Why is the person stuck? It's like, okay, in their mind, they feel like, again, I feel like you're involved with someone that you're in separation with. They're stuck. They have a lot of, and really this separation has made them realize how much passion that they have for you. I don't really feel like they were aware, but I want to know why they're not talking to you to begin with, to be honest with you, because it's like, okay, like you realize that, but our story isn't over, but what the hell are you waiting for? 3 of Swords, painful truth. So it's, again, I feel like they're dealing with a lot of people's betrayal, but possibly just the last relationship that they were in. So they have major trust issues. Painful truth. Painful truth. And again, and a lot also is ego. Okay. King of Wands, when it's reversed, is, that person is all about new ideas and creating, but I feel like this person is stuck in their ego, mainly stuck because of fear, because of, again, certain things which have happened in their life. But I'm almost feeling they're in a transformation, like I said, where it's not just their past relationships. I feel like it's the current relationships, and I'm not even talking about love relationships. Okay, Page of Swords, communication. Five of Cups, melancholy. So it's like, again, I do feel like they feel as if they need to talk to you because, again, they're falling into a depression. That's the energy that's there. They're like, they feel like they have to. Obstacles, but they keep, again, a lot of obstacles. And again, and this is what I said, the unhealthy attachments. Again, so they're surrounded by people that they don't trust. However, they know that it's time to move on. And the obstacles are really, again, their thoughts about staying connected to these people that betrayed them. And, again, needing to, because it's almost like they would need to close out this life in order to move into a new life, is what I feel. And they feel very uncomfortable about that. I'm going to just pull, again, the present moment. And the reason why they're stuck is, again, they're not having a hard time in the present moment. And there's, again, the duality is really the fact that they're very attracted to you, but they have history, and a lot of history with someone else. So even though that history is toxic, it's familiar, and it's kind of like they have a lot of, I want to say memories with this person, but I also want to say like there's the familiarity and also what it looks like. I feel like they've acquired a lot with this person. So they have a lot of memories with this person, and people identify them with this person. So even though they're not happy with the person that they're with, they would be leaving that person and that life because everything's attached to that person, and starting a new life that they don't really know what it looks like because they haven't invested enough time in you. And there's, again, though they're attracted to you, they're not healthy. And they're not healthy because of these unhealthy attachments that keep them in this lower vibration. So, well, that's a bummer. That's a bummer of a reading. I just want to look at your wounds to close it out. Aloof, not getting involved, again. So there's a sense of that they are, again, protecting their heart. Like, and that's what I said, because of like this false life that they're living. So again, I don't know who this was for or who will find it. Again, self-righteous. And that's the thing. It's like, if you say anything to them, they didn't even like listen. So I feel like they know that how they're living is completely out of balance. And because they know that their life is completely out of balance, they act like they don't care. And because they don't know what to do. And that's why they're stuck in this duality. They're stuck in this duality because they would need to like release. They need to come to the realization of the backstabbing that went on to them and why they would have to walk away from this old life. Even though this old life may look good from the outside, that's the problem. You're dealing with someone that cares a lot about what it looks like from the outside, doesn't do enough work on the inside, and then what happens is acts like they don't care, because if you get too close, then no one's going to stick around to like for this. It's a phony life. It's like they wouldn't be able to give you as much as you deserve. So, and then when you call them out on it, they're going to act self-righteous. So we can see why that's not a very positive thing. It's, again, and last thing is balance. It's, again, everything. I've been pulling a lot of balance, and this is a new deck, and balance really comes from, you can't have balance. When I pull a card like this, you can't have balance. And so I think the message is it's not balanced, so you can't be with this person because the person only cares about the passion. The thing we found vanity, and we find beauty, right? And so, but there's a duality, and the duality is the fact that they departmentalize. in order to heal this, it would need to be balanced, and this person doesn't want to be balanced. They act like they don't care to protect their feelings, and then when you call them out on it, they're self-righteous. So a person that's self-righteous, you can't do anything. So what should be your way to get over this is what I would want to know. It's like I'd say, well, how do you deal with this? If you've invested time in someone and you see that this is what it is, how would you heal this? Spirit, how would you get over this? I mean, unfortunately, no matter how much time, effort, energy that you put into something is how big the wound is going to be. So good thing is, I don't think this person ever really made it easy for you. They never let you become comfortable because they were never comfortable. People that don't like themselves, that again are living a lie, that want you to again fall in love with their facade instead of really get to know them. We know that they're not balanced, but it doesn't matter. We've invested. How do we deal with it? Again, maybe communicate. Again, talk to this person. Again, try and effectively. I would say not give any energy to it anymore, because you're not going to be able to change that person. Adaption. See, it's like, I feel like this person wants you to adapt. And the answer is not to adapt. Not. If you're pulling cards that are telling you again that it's like, well, intuitively, it's like, what would happen? Well, what happens usually when you like someone, you could possibly adapt to their way of being. So a person that doesn't want to communicate, that doesn't want to give any energy, that wants everything their way because they're hiding who they truly are from you, not because they don't have feelings, which means they want their cake and eat it too, because it requires them to do healing. So maybe communicate with them and tell them that, again, I'm not going to adapt to this, and put more energy into yourself. One more just on this deck. It's again, strength. Yeah, and have the strength to do it. And when I say strength, I mean not the emotional strength is what I'm talking about, because this is when a person's living out of balance and they're expecting you not to give anything, and they're not living a happy life. They won't really know how to treat you. I want to just pull like 3 cards to see what the hidden truths are, because like I said, they're not capable of giving. So let's just look at the hidden truths. The hidden truths. I left before you could leave me. It's again, so what was I saying? So if you were to be with this person, they wouldn't even if you were to adapt and give this energy, this person wouldn't stay with you, because again, they have the intention of not changing their life. So they would be with you for a certain amount of time, but the moment that you showed that you really cared too much, they wouldn't stay. The moment that you showed that you were going to leave and that you weren't happy with their bullshit, they would leave. So you would always feel like you got the lesser hand. I am not available. And we're going to leave it right there, because this is exactly, it's right there. So they know. So if this person approaches you and they're giving you little breadcrumbs, no, it's not because of you, it's because of them. And also know that even if you give more and you try to adapt to that, they wouldn't give you more because they can't change. They're not available. I'm going to leave it there. Now, if you resonated with this one, my apologies, because that's not a positive person that you were dealing with. But if you did resonate with it, give me a like, comment the word, again, perseverance in your comment bar. You'll know whether I chose you to get that free reading if you see that I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. If I did, we will just correspond back and forth on YouTube to figure out best time, date, place, etc., that we will line up and actually be able to do your reading. Also, know that all readings are done live stream. I will be on later on tonight looking a lot better than this, because I just got finished working out and wanted to jump on. I'm glad that I did, because I'm glad that I got to do that reading live for Ishka. Can't pronounce her name, but again, she liked her reading, and I'm glad that I was on there for her. So I will talk to you all soon later. Bye.